2.3. Somebody's I first read this poem. Listen carefully. The woman was old and red and grey, and went with the chill of winter's day. The streets were white with the recent snow, and the woman's feet with edge were slow. At the crowded crossing, the waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings who passed her by unheeding the glance of her anxious eyes down the street with a laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school, let out. Come happy boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow-filled white and deep, past the women so old and grey, fastened chinners on their way. None offered the helping hand to her, so weak and timid, afraid to stir, lest the carrying wheels or horses' feet should tremble her down in the slippery street. At last come out the merry troop, the gayest boy of the group. He paused beside her, whispered low, I will help you across if you wish to go. Her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed and so, without hurt or harm, he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were young and strong. The back again to his friend, he went, he young heart, happy and well content. She's somebody's mother, boys you know, for all she's aged, and the poor and slow, and someone sometime may lend a hand to help my mother, you understand? If she's old and poor and grey, and her own dear boy so far away. In this stanza, somebody's mother, in this poem, the introduction of this poem is that everyone's mother has becoming old and aged. म्हणजे प्रत्येकाची काय असते मदर काय होणार असते एजड होणार ओल्ड होणार असते and she also needs somebody's help sometime. म्हणजे प्रत्येकाच्या मदरला काय गरज असते आपल्या मुलाची पण नाही कुणाची तरी काय असते हेल्प हवी असते. दिस इज द मेसेज ऑफ दिस poem. In the first stanza, the woman was old and red and grey and bent with the chill of winter's day. The street were white with the recent snow, and the woman's feet with the edge were slow. That means their word red means wearing old and torn clothes. Wearing old and torn clothes. व्हिडिओच्या शेवटी म्हणजे हा व्हिडिओ झाल्यानंतर टीचिंग झाल्यानंतर हे वर्ड तुम्हाला नोटबुक मध्ये देणार आहे. फक्त मिनिंग लक्षात ठेवा. The woman was old and red and grey. That means in this poem, words say this is a simple and touching poem. This is in this poem language used is simple language, and this simple and touching poem. The young boy help an old woman to cross the street. That means इथं काय करतो एक young boy काय करतो हेल्प करतो एका old woman ला. He realized that she is a somebody's mother. आणि त्याला ते जाणवतं की ती काय कोणाची तरी मदर्स आहे. He hopes that when his own mother is need to help in his absence, someone like him will come along and help her. That means त्याला ते जाणवतं की प्रत्येकाची जी काही मदर्स आहे ती काय आहे ओल्ड होणार आहे आणि त्या प्रत्येक विंटर्स आहे, तिला आपल्या मुलाची नीड्स असणार आहे. आता फर्स्ट सांगा बघा. The woman was old and aged and grey. Aged, what is the meaning of aged? Wearing old and torn clothes. And grey and bent with the chill of winter's days. The street were white and the recent snow, and the woman's feet with the edge were slow. That means, in this poem, poets say that the woman was older. Woman was older, old aged. That means this woman is older. With the grey hairs. Grey hairs कशा आहेत तुझे? Grayish color. She was wearing torn clothes. आणि तुम्ही कसे clothes घातलेले? Torn clothes. Her back was bent with the cold of the winter's day. That means, and bent with the chill of the winter's day. That means she was wearing she is old woman and her hairs was grayish in color. She was wearing torn clothes and her back was bent with the cold of the winter's day. ती काय झालेले विंटर्स डे असल्यामुळे किंवा ती कशी झालेली आहे, बेंट बॅक मध्ये काय झालेले बेंट झालेली आहे, कशामुळे कोल्ड म्हणून. Her feet were slow due to age. Next, the street were white with the recent snow and the woman's feet with the edge were slow. That means her feet were slow due to the age. म्हणजे this line state that ती काय आहे, वयस्कर आहे, एज्ड ओल्ड आहे. आणि त्या ओल्ड असणारे सगळे जे डिस्क्रिप्शन आहे ते कुठे दिलेले आहे, फर्स्ट स्टांजा मध्ये दिलेलं आहे. देन हर फीट्स वेअर स्लो ड्यू टू एज. तिचे फीट्स हळूहळू पडतात कारण ती कशी आहे, ओल्ड आहे. द रोड्स वेअर कवर्ड विथ द रिसेंट फेल ऑफ स्नो अँड इन दिस streets were white with the recent snow. That means the roads were covered with the recent फेल्स ऑफ स्नो. म्हणजे त्या रस्त्यावरती काय पडत आहे, स्नो पडत आहे. लक्षात आलं. देन नेक्स्ट सांगा. ऍट द क्राउडेड क्रॉसिंग सी वेटेड लॉंग, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings who passed her by unheeding the glance of her anxious eyes. आता here jostled means jostled means meaning pushed roughly in the crowd. meaning फक्त लक्षात ठेवा. नेक्स्ट ह्याच्यामध्ये मी तुम्हाला ते लिहून देते, तुम्ही नोटबुक मध्ये राईट करा. The next throng means large crowd. Throng means large crowd. And unheeding means, जरी तुम्हाला पाहिजे असेल तर तुम्ही करू शकता. Unheeding means neglecting. आपण म्हणतो नाही निग्लेक्ट करणे. Unheeding म्हणजे काय म्हणतो, दुर्लक्ष करणे मराठीमध्ये. नेक्स्ट बघा. At the crowded crossing she waited long, jostled aside by careless throng of human beings who was passed her by unheeding the glance of her anxious eyes. That means first at the crowded crossing the waited long, jostled aside by careless throng. This second stanza poets state that the woman waited for a long time at the crowded crossing. That means this woman is waited for the long time at the crowded crossing. म्हणजे ती काय करत असते, बराच वेळ काय करत असते, वेट करत असते की कुणीतरी आपल्याला रस्ता क्रॉस करून देईल. The careless crowd pushed her aside. Jostled means, meaning of the jostled means pushed roughly a crowd. That means jostled aside by careless throng. That means the careless crowd pushed her aside and many people passed by without bothering about her anxiety. That means म्हणजे बरेचसे लोक काय करतात, बरीचशी गर्दी त्याच्यातून काय होत असते, क्रॉस होत असते. ती वेट करत असते की कोणीतरी मला काय करेल, क्रॉस करेल. पण लोक काय करतात, तिला काय करतात, निग्लेक्टेड करतात. अनहेडेड द ग्लास ऑफ हर अँशियस आयज. आणि कोणी काय करत नाही, तिच्या त्या ह्याच्यामधला आईजमधला अनसेसपणा किंवा जे काय तिला निग्लेक्ट करून काय करतायत ती निघून जात आहेत. बघा थर्ड स्टँडला down the street without laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, come happy boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow-filled white and deep, past the women, so old and grey, hastened the children on the way. That means down the street with the laughter and shout. Laughter and shout. Glad in the freedom of school let out. That means in this street, that means down the street, laughing and shouting came the group of happy boys. At that time, there were the group of school boys, which is the laughing and shouting. म्हणजे त्या ह्याच्यावर काय झालं असतं एक काय म्हणतो ग्रुप ऑफ बॉयज म्हणजे मुलगा होतो की नाही तो जात असतो स्कूल बॉयचा ते काय करतात शॉर्ट अँड लाफिंग हसत असतात किंवा हसत आणि मोठमोठ्याने काय करतात बोलत असतात. देन नेक्स्ट ग्लॅड टू फ्रीडम ऑफ स्कूल लेट आउट केम हॅपी बॉयज लाईक अ फ्लोक ऑफ शीप. हिअर द पोएट कंपेअर्ड द ग्रुप ऑफ बॉयज टू द लाईक अ फ्लोक ऑफ शीप. इथं काय केलेलं आहे फ्लोक ऑफ शीप बरोबर काय केलेले आहे कंपॅरिझन केलेली आहे बघा. हॅपी बॉयज म्हणजे ग्रुप ऑफ बॉयज कंपेअर विथ द लाईक अ फ्लोक ऑफ शीप. That means the glad that they were free from the school. These boys, group of boys is free from the school. They looked like a flock of sheep. That means the glad in freedom of school let out came happy boys like a flock of sheep. That means they looked like a flock of sheep. म्हणजे ते कसे दिसतात कंपॅरिझन आलेले म्हणजे कुठला फिगर ऑफ स्पीच आलाय रे सिमन्स आहे का सिमिली आहे का इथं सिमिलॅरिटी दाखवते का बरं ते मेन्शन केलं तुम्हाला लागणार आहे ह्याच्यामध्ये अनालिसिस मध्ये पोएम ॲप्रिसिएशन मध्ये. नेक्स्ट बघा दे लुक्ड लाईक फ्लोक ऑफ शीप दे वेलकम्ड द स्नो विच वॉज फिल्ड व्हाईट अँड डीप. दॅट मीन्स कम हॅपी बॉयज लाईक अ flock of sheep. Hailings means welcoming. Hailings means welcoming. The snow filled white and deep. That means this boy, they welcomed the snow which was filled with white and deep. ते काय करतात welcoming करत असतात. Past the women, so old and grey, hastened the children on the way. Filled means काय? Arranged in heap. Arranging him. And then next hasten means to move at high speed. Then they went quickly on their ways faster the old women. म्हणजे ते काय करत असतात they went quickly on their ways faster the old women. ते काय करतात quickly काय करत असतात तो वे काय करत असतात फास्ट old women's. Then next word तुम्हाला नंतर मी देते. None offered a helping hand to her, so weak and timid, afraid to stir, lest the carrying wheels on the horses' feet should trample her down in slippery street. आता नवीन वर्ड कुठले timid काय येणार आहे तर afraid आपण म्हणतो ना afraid. Then next term is move म्हणतो की नाही move to move. Then rest means for fear that in order to prevent. To fear for fear that in order to prevent. And trample means cheerful. ते वर्ड मी नंतर तुम्हाला देते फक्त तुम्हाला मेन्शन करायचं असतील तर काय करा तुम्ही afraid to stir, lest the carrying wheels or horses' feet should trample her down in the slippery street. None of the boy offered to her helping hand. कुणी तिला काय करत नाही, हेल्प करत नाही. None of the boys offered her helping hand. So weak and timid, afraid to stir. At that time, she was staggered and weak and afraid to move on the slippery street. Then, lest to carry wheels or horse feet should trample her down in the slippery street. Slippery street because of the fear that she would trample either by wheels or the carrying or horses or feet. म्हणजे ती काय करत असते, कुणीही मुलगा किंवा कुणीही बॉय काय करत नाही, हेल्प करत नाही आणि तिला भीती वाटत असते की त्या रोडवरती ती काय होऊ शकते, म्हणजे स्लिपरी रोड्स असतो. And next बघा, at last came out the merry troop, the gayest boy of all groups. He paused before her and whispered low, I will help you across if you wish to go. Here gayest means cheerful. Then at last come out the merry troops. That means lastly or finally out of the happy group of children, the gayest boy, that means the cheerful boy or gayest boy come out. That means at last come out the merry troop. The gayest means cheerful boy of all group. That means finally out of the happy group of children, the gayest boy come out. He paused near her. He paused beside her and whispered low, I will help you across if you wish to go. That means finally out of the happy group of children, the gayest boy come out. He paused near her. That means he paused near old woman and told her softly that he would help her across the road if she wished to go. म्हणजे त्या ग्रुप मधला एक गेस्ट बॉय, cheerful बॉय येतो आणि तो काय करतो, त्या ओल्ड वुमेनला काय करतो, हेल्प करतो. Then her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed, and so without hurt or harm he guided to the trembling feet along, proud that his own were young and strong. Then back again to his friend he went, his young heart happy and well content. Here word बघा, he aged hand on the strong young arm she placed her hand without hurt to harm to guided. Trembling means थरथरणे किंवा शिवरिंग्स म्हणतो आपण त्याला, शिवरिंग्स थरथरणे, कापणे म्हणतो की नाही. Then content means to message. एखादा आपण message देतो की नाही, त्याबद्दल बघा. Her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed her so without hurt harm. That means she placed her old hand on his strong young arm. ती काय करते, आपल्या young armला old armला मुलाच्या हातामध्ये देते. That means her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed her, and so without hurt or harm. That means she placed her old hand on this strong young arm. She guided her trembling feet along without allowing her to the hurt and harmed. म्हणजे तो काय करतो, विदाउट हार्म किंवा विदाउट हार्म करता किंवा हर्ट करता तो काय करतो, त्या ओल्ड वुमेनला काय करतो, रस्ता क्रॉस करून देतो. He was happy that his own feet were young and strong. At that time the old woman's feet were young and strong. म्हणजे फक्त ती फील करते की, म्हणजे काय फील करते, तिला सपोर्ट काय केलेला असतो, त्या यंग मॅननं दिलेला असतो. आफ्टर द टॉकिंग हर अक्रॉस ही वेंट बॅक टू हिज फ्रेंड हॅपी अँड कंटेंट विथ दॅट ही हॅड डन. आणि तो काय करतो, the young boy after talking her across he went back to his friend. म्हणजे तो went back आपल्या फ्रेंडकडे काय करतो परत जातो आणि हॅपी अँड कंटेंट विथ ही हॅड होमवर्क डन केलेला आहे हे काय करतो त्याला सांगतो. देन कंटेंटचं मिनिंग लक्षात आलं. नेक्स्ट पेज. She is somebody's mother, boys, you know, for all she's aged and poor and slow, and someone sometime may lends a hand to help my mother, you understand. If she's old and poor gray, and her own dear boy so far away. That means he explained. That means the boy explained to the other boys. That means she's somebody's mother. Boys, you know. That means here the boy which is the explained to the other boys that the older lady was a somebody's mother. That means she's somebody's mother. That means this boy explained to other boys the older lady was the somebody's mother. After all, for all she's aged and poor and slow, and someone sometime may lends a hand held by mother, you understand. That means the boy who was explained the other boys that is the old lady was somebody's mother after all, even though she was now old. That means the boy who was explained to all other boys. She was now old and poor and slow. ती कशी झालेली आहे नाऊ ओल्ड अँड पुअर अँड स्लो. ती कशी झालेली आहे तर ओल्ड झालेली आहे. ही hoped that someone sometime may lend a helping hands to his own mother. He helped the mother and someone sometime may lend hands to help mother, you understand. That means he hoped that someone sometime may lend helping hand to the his own mother. म्हणजे काय केलं पाहिजे म्हणजे तो मेसेज काय देतो लक्षात आलं तर तो काय म्हणतोय प्रत्येकाने काय केलं पाहिजे आपल्या मदरला काय केली पाहिजे त्या ह्याच्यामध्ये. ही होप्ड दॅट समवन म्हणजे समवन समटाइम काय केलं पाहिजे मे लेट्स हेल्पिंग हँड टू हिज ओन मदर म्हणजे त्याच्या प्रत्येकाने आपल्या मदर्सला काय केली पाहिजे हेल्प केली पाहिजे. इफ शी बिकम ओल्ड अँड पुअर अँड ग्रे अँड ही वॉज far away. She become old and poor. ती कशी आहे बिकमिंग काय झालेली आहे ओल्ड अँड पुअर. दॅट मीन्स अँड हर ओन डिअर बॉय सो फार अवे. आणि त्या लेडीचा किंवा त्या वुमेनचा बॉयज कुठं आहे बिकम ओल्ड अँड पुअर अँड ग्रे अँड ही वॉज फार अवे. दॅट मीन्स तो कुठं आहे फार अवे आहे. देन somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night, and the prayers she said was, God be kind to that noble boy who is somebody's son and pride and joy. That means in last stanza, poet state that somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night. That means in her home that night, the old lady who was somebody's mother. That means in last stanza, poet said that her home that night, the old lady who was somebody's mother. म्हणजे ती कुणाची तरी काय होती मदर होती. bowed her head low and prayed, asking God to be kind to that noble boy who was the somebody's son and pride and joy. म्हणजे ती काय करत असते त्या मुलासाठी काय करत असते म्हणजे प्राऊड फील करत असते आणि त्याच्यासाठी काय करत असते प्रेयर्स करत असते. लक्षात आले पोएमचं मेसेज काय आहे लक्षात आलं.